Okay.
The impetus
Ooh, big words
behind,
already.
yeah, impetus behind us talking is because our record, the one that you play bass on, Jason W. Harper, bassist extraordinaire of Dogwood, and I are talking right now. That's who we're talking about. 20 years.
That was a big lead up.
I know I just made that up off the top. But yeah, so Jason Harper and I were in Dogwood forever, and seems like and but really it seems like not that long ago, but then looking back at the record, it's 20 years, so what the heck.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know, it's crazy, and that was the third one, so we must have done a lot before that. So
Yeah.
but this in
Well, it was like
particular,
half a lifetime ago, literally.
literally yes, everyone's getting married that year, and we had a bunch of just had other records come out, and yeah, so
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of talk to people about the record, especially the band members, and I'm going to be like breaking down some songs and stuff like that. But yeah,
Awesome.
I wanted to talk to you because everyone has different memories and stories about the band and the songs and the recording process and all that stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
catching
I
up
was
in the
actually
process.
I was trying to mentally go back there because I was like, and I was like, oh, no wonder I hardly remember recording. I think I was there for like a day and a half tops.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a funny story in itself too, because you were like, go in there, probably like you probably got there a little bit after the rest of us, maybe because to do your parts or something, because you're like, I got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you busted it out, and it came out awesome. I mean, so I've heard from many people or other podcasts and everything that it's like, the bass really stands out on this record. Of course, I always thought that were an excellent musician, bass, guitar, and all the whatever other secret instruments I don't know about that you play, but especially on here, I don't know if would you say that Ryan kind of brought that out of you, or were you already going in there and knowing all the parts of the album and the songs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that was, well, okay, so a couple things. I think that was the first album where I was just in the room with whoever was producing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So it was kind of like not having and not in a negative way, but not having another band member in there, and just like with the producer, because the producer doesn't really know anything beyond like what we've given them or what they've studied. Mm-hmm. So with Ryan, it was like he worked fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't like there was no one else in there to be like, oh, maybe do this, maybe do that. I don't like that. I don't like this. And so I think that was the biggest thing. I mean, I think I tracked all that in like 6 hours. By the time we were like set up and we went, and then obviously, you guys came in and like listened back to certain stuff. But I think a lot of it was like kind of like no time to really think. It was kind of like, I was surprised at how fast he worked, put it that way. Because, his records up to that point, we listened to a lot of them. They were all like, they sounded like very, very polished. So I just assumed that they spent a lot of time. Mm-hmm. But he was definitely one of those guys where it was just like, and go.
Yeah, super pro. I mean, like he definitely well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe my experience was a little bit different, but also like yeah, not having us in the room and stuff like that to distract you or distract Ryan. He really I since I wasn't in the room, I guess that's what I was asking. Was he really like do it over, or is it more like done, next song, done, next song? Like because there's some really good parts on there, and he really dialed in the bass, I think, on the mix too.
Yeah. No, I mean, for the most part, it was kind of like he pushed record and had me just go through.
Yeah.
And then I was like, are we done? And he was like, oh, no, that was just to kind of see like what came out. And then we kind of went back and went again. Mm-hmm. And after that, just kind of punched in a few parts. And then, you came in, Sean came in, we're like, we do this here and there. But it was very like, it was just kind of like record, let me see what comes out, which was cool for me. Cause like when you play live, you're a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just kind of like that. It was like played through, went back, did it over. So it was almost like we had a practice run and then like a run, and then just a couple little areas where, whether it was myself or him, that felt like something might have been a better idea or executed better. But yeah, I mean, he was just super fast. I mean, I kind of told him, oh, that, and he talked a lot of trash about like how fast other bass players tracked. So he was like, okay, this guy did the whole album in one take. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, I don't totally believe that, but I know they were also super good, like some of the people he was talking about. So it was also like, oh, okay, we're racing to see how quick we can do this thing.
He was trying to push you to be as fast as like, the Lagwagon or Motley Crue or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not that reach that level, but yeah, definitely. But no, it was fun because I think with that record, I mean, we kind of put that together kind of quick.
Yeah.
Like it came fairly fast because we had the opportunity to work with him. So I know for me, a lot of leading up to that was really just us with the limited time we had, kind of putting the songs together, taking Sean's ideas or your ideas and kind of putting them all together.
Yeah.
That was kind of the first time where it was like, I didn't really know exactly certain things I was going to play. So a lot of what is on the album just kind of came on the spot.
Oh, that's really cool. So like a lot of impromptu additions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did he let you play your own bass? Or I know that there was one other one in the studio that we used on one song at least. And
yeah, I mean, I used mine on everything except for man, I blank on song titles. What's the second track in the album called?
Second track is Nothing Is Everything.
Yes, I forgot the title. Right. Yeah, I used modulus on that.
Oh yeah, Flea's bass.
Yeah, and then I used that in the middle of, what was it? Point counterpoint. There's like a little, it almost sounds like a fretless bass.
It totally does sound like a fretless bass. I was surprised that it wasn't a fretless bass.
Yeah, well, I brought Sean's jazz bass, which was fretless, but it forget what was going on with it. So the strings were so dead on that modulus that we just turned like the tone knob all the way down. And when we did that, it just sounded like a fretless bass because the strings were so dead.
Amazing. Studio tricks. See?
Yeah.
So it's good to
that was it. Other than that, I just played P bass.
Yeah. And, I mean, I really think it, did you play P bass on all the records?
No, I played
Man,
jazz bass on the two albums before that. I
definitely remember the jazz bass. I think it definitely has a different bass sound on this record.
Yeah, it's a lot dirtier. On More and Conquerors and Building a Better Me, I played jazz bass.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because this one, I feel like the bass really stands out. Probably maybe even the most in the mix on this record compared to the other instruments overall. So I don't know if Ryan was trying to bring that up. I don't know, because it sounds great. It's clean but dirty at the same time. I don't know if that's the proper usage of the verbiage of the bass playing, but it's like you can hear every note, but it still sounds very heavy and funky and
yeah. Well, it's funny because he was like, "Oh yeah, what are some albums that you like in terms of bass tone?" And like the second I opened my mouth, I had played something. He's like, "Never mind, that sounds good."
Oh, there you go. Okay.
like the tone that is there. I mean, if it took him like 10 to 15 seconds to get it, it was almost like immediate when I hit like first two notes. He was like, never mind, I like that. And
cool.
Didn't really ask if I did, but for me, it was like exactly what I was going for. You want, like, I wanted something really dirty, but I wanted it where you could still hear like the little articulation of parts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, you hear some tones that are just so nasty. It's like, sounds cool, but you can't really tell what's going on. Yeah. He did a good job with that. I don't know how he did it, but he did a really good job.
He's got all the tricks. He's got all the magic, studio stuff. I don't know. He's
done a few things.
He's a natural.
He kind of done it before.
Yeah, definitely, with a bunch of other good ones. What do you think is like, as far as that whole process and experience was concerned, what did you have, like a standout moment or favorite song or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was awesome. Like, the studio was way different than kind of what I envisioned or what I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I was always kind of like bummed that I didn't get to spend any more time there, but like work at that point in time just didn't really allow it. So I think like one of the bigger things for me was always like, I always look back and like, man, I wish I could have spent like, not necessarily more time to record, but just like to experience a producer that we all liked, and we all liked a lot of records he did. Um, Nothing is Everything is definitely one of my favorites, just because I like the tempo of the song in comparison to a lot of the like the album is pretty straightforward and aggressive and fast, so I kind of like
Mm-hmm.
the pace of that one.
Yeah.
I like, as far as like for me personally, I like the bass parts that I came up with in that song.
Me too.
I always felt like I worked better in mid-tempo songs than I did like super fast songs. So that, and I really like vocally what you did, especially the end of that song. I feel like vocally was like my favorite like vocal segment of the album. Just
a moment. Like that
like
you
from the
nailed it.
building of the bridge to the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like it.
I actually that's my favorite song on the record, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
I
didn't
do
know
like
that.
I like a lot of moments on the records, and I like a lot of songs, but like I think overall, that one and Matt Aragon, those two songs kind of encompass, I feel like, everything that we are all trying to do the whole time with the band, where we could
Yeah.
we could be slower punk rock, but still have all those same rad parts that I was like Russell, even in that Nothing Is Everything, Russell's still playing dooka-daka, you know, like the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
a really cool foot beat with the
Right,
way
right.
he's hitting the rest of the kit. And then that part that you like at the end of that song, Ryan kind of wrote that part in the studio while I was singing. He said, wait a minute, do this and add that,
Yeah.
you know, can you repeat that? And I was like, okay. And then I did it. And then I could see him and Sean behind the mixing board, like kind of turn their heads talking to each other. You know, I can't hear them. And they're like
Right.
kind of smiling or whatever. And they said, do that again. And then, so they kind of wrote that right in the moment.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't remember what was there before, if it was just an outro, but it was definitely like a bass heavy outro. And then he added the no, you know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think that one song became my favorite song after a while.
Even vocally, I just liked I liked your vocals a lot in that song. I don't know if it was just how all the like the chord progressions work together in the key of the song or whatever it was, but I just felt like just the way everything vocally flowed in that song I really liked. I really like 1983 a lot. I felt like that song, Sean is really good at structuring songs, obviously.
Yeah.
But like I felt like that one really kind of, at least at that point in, I guess, the progression of his songwriting, kind of showcased there's so many parts and different kind of, you have parts that are in like, you know, minor chords where it's a little moody, and then all of a sudden it gets into this like, you know, kind of like major scale little progression and stuff, and it's almost kind of poppy, right? So
yeah,
I like what he did in that. But honestly, I mean, I like that album. I do. I know it's kind of like a fast, just kind of hits you and kind of just runs through. Yeah, I really liked it.
Where does this album sit for you in the pantheon of Dogwood albums?